Hello, everyone. They say 5 years is a lifetime in the world of educational trends. Apps come and go, and methodologies shift. But there is one topic that has only grown more urgent. Back in 2021, I sat down with the British Council for a webinar titled Climate Change in English Language Education. At the time, we called it a hot topic. Today, in 2026, it is the defining challenge of our generation. If you think this discussion is old news, think again. The tools we developed then are more relevant now than ever. I'm Andrea Collados, and today I'm sharing the exact lesson plan and the 6 essential tips I presented in that webinar to help you turn your English classroom into a hub for global change. So now let's go to the webinar. I'm going to share just a section of it. Okay, here we are. Good. So in late 2021, I had the honor of representing Argentina on a global stage. We weren't just talking about grammar, we were discussing climate action, one of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. As English teachers, we are in a unique position. English is a global language for science, policy, and activism. When we teach our students how to talk about the environment, we aren't teaching them just vocabulary. We are giving them a seat at the global table. So let's move on to the section where I'm basically explaining about this lesson plan. Okay.
Back to you, Alicia, I think.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah. Next, we'll have the voice of a teacher. Yeah? And so we'll hear about localization and personalization because it's a teacher who actually used the Climate Connection lesson plan that the British Council created. And we'll get her testimonial, what has worked for her and the challenges she faced. So welcome, Andrea.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Again, it's a pleasure being here. Well, basically, I will explain a little bit about my experience with the lesson plan that is called 21st Century Jobs, the Future of Work and its Impact on the Environment. In terms of the context, I work with a group of 10 Argentinian adult students who work in the different departments of a chemical company in the capital city of my country, of Argentina. I teach them online because I work for a company. I work for a language school, and this school provides services to different organizations and companies. And well, basically, with this group of students, we usually discuss about different topics like social issues, gender inequality, poverty, the environment. So when I came across with this plan, I thought it was a good idea, an interesting topic, and I thought it would be interesting for them. So first, we started with the warm-up was a discussion about climate change, climate action, and the changes in the world of work as a consequence of the pandemic. Then we had a small an activity in small groups where and they had to compare and contrast the different kind of jobs, like the existing jobs, new jobs, and jobs that they think will appear in the future. Then I rearranged the groups again I used Zoom for my online lessons. And they also described and discussed about the nature and characteristic of the 21st century work. And during this activity, they used a lot of different techniques, such as brainstorming, mind maps, charts, different techniques that they choose according to their learning styles. The next activity was a whole class discussion. In this activity, they had to predict or try to predict the world of work and the type of job they will have. We will have in the rest of the century. And in the final stage, they had to produce a writing. They had to do a collaborative writing in groups. They have to put their knowledge in practice. They have to write down a series of ideas about what they think and hope the future of work will be like, including how newer jobs might be greener. And of course, they had to focus on their current jobs, their current workplace, and their community. The characteristics of the organization, the characteristic of the community where they are involved in. And when they were sharing this, their production, other ideas, other topics emerged. So one of them was basically based on work-life balance. And at that moment, I remember activity I came across. It's available in the British Council website that is called Life-Work Balance. And so I assigned this activity as a homework for the students to do it, and also to think about different questions or different comparison or different activities we could do the following lesson as a warm-up. So with this lesson plan, what I achieved and what the students achieved, that is most important, is that they were able to get engaged with the topic and enthusiastic, which is surprising in the sense that sometimes adults don't get so engaged with this kind of topics. They also did some research on their own, and also they provided some very interesting ideas in writing. And as regard the challenges, well, for me, first of all, I had to adapt the lessons. And yeah, this lesson plan has a lot of vocabulary, and the content is quite broad. So I think it should be better to cover this lesson plan in 2 or 3 different lessons, so the students can get a deeper understanding of the topic, and we can, take a better advantage of the content and the activities. And another challenge, especially for the students, was that they found it difficult to predict. I don't know if it is because of their personality, their professions, or because they are adults, but yeah, they found it hard to predict, what the world of work will be like in 10 years' time. So, well.
Wow, I think it's a really, really nice lesson plan. I hope you are enjoying it so far. Okay, so after years of refining this approach, here I'm going to share with you the 6 essential tips. Okay. Okay, so here we have the 6 essential tips for educators. Okay, so first of all, prioritize research. Okay, it's very important. Give students the chance to find their own data. It builds information literacy alongside English skills. Second, we have organized in stages. Don't try to save the planet in 40 minutes. Break the lesson plan into maybe 2 or 3 sessions to allow for deep understanding. Another one that is very important, keep an open mind. Be a facilitator, not a lecturer. Listen to your students' concern. Most likely their interests will drive the lesson. Very, very important, localize and personalize. A student in a rural area cares about totally different things than a student in a capital city. So make the environmental issues hit close to home. One of the top ones also is listen to young generations. Young activists are the experts in this field. So bring the speeches and articles into your classroom. And last but not least, be creative and flexible. Sustainability doesn't have to be depressing. So you can use videos, projects, and art to keep the energy positive. Very good. So now I would like to share with you the final stage of this plan. So where the student didn't just write a paragraph, basically they designed a proposal for how the company would become green. Okay, so now we are going to watch another part of the video. Okay. The second part that in this part we can see the outcome. Okay.
Okay. And I also decided to share with you the written production from one group of my students. So this short text is a result, and of course it has a little bit of research. There is a little bit of research and editing, and this is the final product. So I will read it for you so you can see what ideas they decided to include in their writing. And also they had to choose, or they could choose from different questions, and they decided to choose a question: will a 4-day working week become standard? So a 4-day working week will probably become standard because this new concept has proved to be beneficial for employees. They maintained the same productivity level, and they also showed improvement in job satisfaction, teamwork, work-life balance, and company loyalty. According to some studies, there was a decrease in the level of stress. A 4-day work week would promote an equal workplace, as employees would be able to spend more time with their families and better juggle care and work commitments. On the other hand, reducing work week from 5 to 4 days could have an environmental benefit too, because employees don't need to commute as much, and large office buildings are only used 4 days a week. However, a big problem may arise if the concept of a 4-day work week is confused with compressed hours. Employees who are expected to still work 35 hours in 4 days will actually show decreased levels of productivity, and it can also impact employees' engagement, work-life balance, and overall happiness. So, as you can see in this short piece of writing, they were able to connect, their interest and their concern about work-life balance with the benefit that this new system could have in the environment. So in general, this is one of the examples, but in general, I am pretty satisfied with the outcome, and mostly the students are satisfied with this outcome. So yeah, we are happy about that. Okay, and that's all from me. So I guess now it's Ralph's turn, right?
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, very useful.
You're welcome.
Well, I think it's a really, really nice piece of writing, and we were really, really happy and satisfied with this. So, well, now let's share some more information, and also basically, as educators, we have a choice. Okay, we can treat climate change as a single unit in a textbook, or we can integrate it. Part of it, and we can teach it. We can teach this topic and be part of our curriculum and part of a daily lesson. So 5 years later, the mission hasn't changed. It's only become more important. So, well, basically now I have a challenge for you. I want to hear in your comments, what is one small way you integrated sustainability in your classes this year? And if you're just starting out, which of these 6 tips will you try first? So, well, now you can subscribe to my channel, You are welcome. If you wanna watch more ELT resources and lesson deep dives, also you can share this video with a colleague who wants to make an impact. It's very useful. And well, I have freebies, the good news. There is a lot of material you can download. First of all, you can download the original 21st Century Job lesson plan, and it's for free. You can download the webinar infographic. You can also have access to the link to watch the full webinar, Climate Change in English Language Education. And also you can have access to a British Council online reading activity on work-life balance for free. Okay, so I think it's time to stop talking about the weather and to start teaching our students how to change it. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in our next video. Bye bye.